Good evening, J Street. As the chair of J Street's board, it is my distinct honor to welcome all of you to J Street's 2022 National Conference, both those of you who are here in person and those of you who are watching at home online. This is an incredibly important moment for the pro-Israel, pro-peace, pro-democracy movement. To be coming together as a community. Heading into last month's midterm elections, we were braced for the possibility that we'd be holding this conference in the wake of a wave election, a red wave, that would bring to power far-right extremists who have promoted bigotry, undermined our elections, suppressed our rights, and threatened the very survival of our democracy. While those threats remain real, we can feel genuine pride, relief, and excitement that the worst scenario did not happen. I am delighted to report that the overwhelming majority of J Street endorsed candidates won their elections. Including candidates in some of the most competitive and critical House and Senate races. Thanks in part to the work you did and to the mobilization of so many others across the country, many of the worst extremists and election deniers were defeated, and we head into this week's Georgia runoff knowing that the Senate will be in the hands of a pro-democracy, pro-diplomacy majority regardless of the outcome in Georgia. The fact is, liberal democracy proved more resilient than its opponents thought. But threats to our democracy and to our community remain. There are still far too many election deniers and insurrectionists in Congress. And the dangerous rhetoric, policies, and ideology that have infected our politics continue to fuel a frightening rise in anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic hate crimes. And to make matters worse, just a few weeks ago, Donald Trump announced his candidacy for president in 2024. So the threats remain, but J Street is ready to mobilize and lead our community in the next round of federal elections that will take place in 2024. At the same time that we celebrate the mostly encouraging outcome of our own elections, we can't help but feel distress and concern over the outcome of Israel's recent elections. If it weren't concerning enough that Benjamin Netanyahu will return to power despite his ongoing trial for corruption, his coalition will include ultra-nationalist bigots in key government positions with massive destructive influence over the occupied territories, the settler movement, and the police. Individuals once relegated to the fringes of Israeli politics will now take center stage at a time when the escalating conflict between Israelis and Palestinians is already spiraling out of control. It is easy to feel despair. But we are gathered here precisely because we know that despair is not an option. Our voice has never been more desperately needed here in the United States as we call on our government and our community leaders to stand up to the right-wing fanatics and to occupation, and to help defend democracy in Israel as well as at home. Now more than ever, J Street is needed to stand in solidarity with our friends and partners in Israel and Palestine, many of whom have traveled to be with us this weekend. Standing on the stage, looking out at this audience, I am filled with hope because I see allies who are fighting every day for justice, equality, and peace. And I see the J Street leaders and J Street supporters who are doing yeoman's work in this country to build our movement, to spread our message, and to promote our Jewish and democratic values. This conference is an opportunity for all of us to be reminded that we are not alone in this fight. Let me now say thank you to the sponsors of this incredible event whose names are displayed on the screen behind me. We would not hold this important gathering without you. And I want to say thank you to the very talented J Street staff. Without You're stepping on my applause line. Without whom we wouldn't be able to achieve any of our movement's goals or successes. Would all of the J Street staff please stand so that we can recognize and applaud you? I want to encourage everyone to download the conference app. If I did it, you can do it. Which you can find by searching for J Street National Conference in your app store. This will help you stay up to date and fully informed about the conference schedule and about our sessions and speakers. Finally, may I also remind you that we are asking all conference participants tonight and throughout the conference to please wear face masks when you're not eating or drinking. We so appreciate your help in keeping all of your fellow attendees healthy and safe. I am very excited about the next 3 days, starting with a terrific program this evening. So now please join me in welcoming J Street's president and founder and my good friend, Jeremy Ben-Ami.